Hello friends, welcome to my channel. There was an orphan girl who lived in a small house in a village. Every day she would look out of her window at the children playing with their toys and crayons. She wanted to play with them so much, but they never invited her. They just shouted and laughed, not knowing how lonely she was. One day a woman from a charity organization came to the village. She distributed food, clothes and toys among the poor families. The little girl dreamed that maybe this time she would finally get something that would make her feel less lonely. But when it was her turn, the woman said, "I have nothing left for you, child. Come back another day." The girl was very upset, but she knew that if she didn't do something herself, no one would ever be her friend. She went into the forest behind her house and started picking up sticks. When she had collected enough of them, she sharpened them with a knife and made a drawing board. Then she roamed family to ask if she could draw a picture for them in exchange for some crayons. At first, everyone refused her, but then a kind woman gave her a box with 12 old crayons. "Here, child, these are the only ones I hope they'll be useful to you," she said. The girl thanked her and ran home happily. When she opened the box, she found that all the crayons were broken. However, this did not upset her because she was so grateful to finally have something that would allow her to communicate with other people. From that moment on, she spent all her free time drawing different pictures with those crayons. A few days later, the town was holding an annual drawing competition. The girl wanted to participate, but she was afraid that nobody would pay attention to her drawings. Then she had a great idea. She took out a piece of paper and drew a huge sun in the middle of it. Then she drew rays of light that extended beyond the edges of the sheet. Finally, she put a small figure of herself at the very bottom. "That's me looking up at the world with hope," she thought. When the judges saw this drawing, they were deeply moved by its simplicity and beauty. It won first prize, which consisted of paying for the girl's education in a good school. That's how the used crayons helped her. Every day the girl walked to school with a big smile on her face. Now she could finally learn and grow up to be a smart and strong woman. Thanks to those crayons, she could draw and show the world what she saw in her dreams. No one dared to offend her anymore because they knew that someday she would become an outstanding artist. The girl grew up, went to college and eventually became an art teacher. She traveled all over the country with exhibitions of her paintings, and every time she picked up a crayon, she remembered the kindness of the woman who gave her the box of crayons all those years ago. Once the girl became famous, she decided to hold an exhibition. In her hometown, she donated all the money she earned to the orphanage where she spent her childhood. The director of the shelter was very happy to see what the girl had become, so he invited her to draw a picture for the children so they could remember her. But when the girl entered the room where the children were, she burst into tears. The walls were bare and gray. There wasn't a single picture or poster on them. Seeing this, the girl felt sorry for the children. She took a piece of paper and began to draw. The kids gathered around her and watched as she created a colorful picture with a smiling sun, a green field and two children holding hands. "Thank you," whispered one of the boys. "It's beautiful," said the girl, "but there's no point in thanking me. You should thank the sponsors who gave me these crayons so many years ago. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be able to draw or talk to you now," she said. And then the girl told the children the story of how she received the crayons and how they changed her life. After listening to it, the kids looked at the crayons with respect and admiration. One of the girls asked, "If we use these crayons to draw pictures for our friends, will our lives change too?" The girl smiled and said, "Of course, all you have to do is believe in your dreams. And always remember that even a small act of kindness like giving away crayons can change someone's entire life." Then the girl continued drawing, and the children took turns asking her to draw something for them. She drew each picture with love, putting a piece of her soul into it. The children were delighted with the drawings, and the girl was happy to see their shining eyes. From that day on, the pictures adorned the walls of the orphanage, and the children never forgot the story of the used crayons. They understood that no matter how difficult life may seem, one must always remain kind and helpful, because even small things can bring happiness. Once the girl finished her drawings, she asked the director of the shelter, "Can I paint the walls now? I want to make them more colorful." "Of course you can. These walls need some color and joy. The kids will be so happy," the director replied. So the girl took a brush and began painting the walls in bright colors. She painted flowers, butterflies and rainbows, turning the gray walls into a real masterpiece. The children clapped their hands with joy and thanked her for making their world brighter. While she was painting, the girl thought about how much her life had changed since she got those used crayons. She realized that sometimes it's the little things that can have the biggest impact, and she was so grateful for the kindness of strangers who had helped her so many years ago. As the sun began to set, the girl finished her work. Looking at the colorful walls, she smiled. She had brought joy not only to the children but to herself as well. The used crayons had not just taught her how to draw, they had given her a chance at a better life. When the news of the girl's success spread throughout the country, many people wanted to help the children in the orphanage. Food, clothes and toys began to arrive there, and most importantly, people began to pay attention to the children. They organized sports competitions and evenings of songs and dances for them. The girl continued To visit the orphanage regularly, she drew with the children, played with them and told them stories about the magical world of art. For the girl, it was very important to give the children love and care, because she knew what it was like to feel lonely and forgotten. Years passed, and the children grew up. Some of them left the orphanage, and some stayed on, dreaming of a better future. But all of them remembered the girl who had come to their dreary grey walls, and had shown them the beauty of colors and the magic of art. The story of the girl who drew pictures for the children in the orphanage shows us that even a small act of kindness can change someone's life. The used crayons became a symbol of hope and a reminder that even in difficult times, one must always remain human and strive to make the world a better place. Friends, what do you think of this story? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and that's probably enough for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos. Also, please like this video if you enjoyed watching it. Bye.